Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Yes, it's me with a torque wrench. Could be a dangerous combination, but this time it seems that it worked. This is my Merida Scultura. As you know, it's the bike that I use in the winter for commuting, and unfortunately sometimes it's a bit neglected. The canyon you see on the side is a lot lighter, and even in the winter when it's not wet, I tend to use the canyon because the difference in performance between the two bikes is really huge. So what happened is I've been neglecting the Merida a bit, which is unfair to the bike. Of course, it's a aluminium bike, yes, with a carbon fork, but the weight difference is quite a lot. 10 kilos more so on the Merida, about 7.5, 7.7 for the Canyon. And I thought to myself, yes, that the difference in performance was mainly due to the weight of the bike. But I was wrong. After getting the riding bike measuring tool, I've done the video, I will link the video in the description. I started playing again with the measurement of the two bikes because I thought that although I had the same saddle height, I could have more or less the same performance, but I was really wrong because Canyon's got a forward position, so the saddle center is closer to the bottom bracket, while the Merida was a little bit slacker. And I really believe that the difference, maybe only a centimeter or so, will not make a huge difference in the performance, only rendering the bike a little bit more comfortable and the Canyon a bit more aggressive. But the difference between the two in terms of power was too high to be justified just on the weight, and I found out that the position was to blame, because three things are important really on the bike: position, position, position. I found out that this is so important that even trumps almost the weight and definitely the aerodynamics on the bike. What happened? Let me show you. As you can see, the Canyon comes with a almost inline seat post with very little setback. I was in a way lucky that the Canyon CFSL 7 came with this seat post, because automatically put me in my preferred position. And I found out that on the Canyon I was really comfortable. I found that with the 12 centimeter stem I could really ride in the most powerful position. The Merida came with a seat post that had some setback, which is quite usual, about a couple of centimeters behind, and position the saddle a little bit backwards. This, combined with the slacker angle of the seat tube on the Merida, put me in a little bit backward position. I did try to adjust moving the saddle forward, but was still not enough because I reached the end of the rails. At the same time, the Merida came with a 11 centimeter stem, and I already tried a 12 centimeter stem. But the point is, without adjusting the seat position, just increasing the stem was not efficient. That's why I got back to the 11 centimeter stem. In other words, on the Canyon I am altogether forward, and on the Merida I was altogether a little bit backwards. And I measured that the distance between the saddle and the hands position was the same between the two bikes. So I thought to myself, why the difference in performance between the two bikes is so high? Could it be down to the way I approach the pedals on the Canyon? Being forward makes such a difference? And I found out that it did. With the ride and bike tool, I very quickly checked the angle of the seat post, and the Canyon was almost a centimeter forward, and I decided that I needed a different seat post. So this is what I got: a brand X, very cheap, Seatpost with an almost inline saddle clamp that could position the saddle forward in a very easy and efficient way. Then I used the 12 centimeter stem that I already had. I measured it up with the riding tool. I made sure that the angle was the same between the Canyon and the Merida, and the difference was incredible. Believe me, I ride the same segments all the way when I go to work, and the difference while riding the Merida in exact same position as the Canyon was incredible. Found myself straight away on a higher gear. I reached the end of the cassette and I was looking down to see whether there was another cog to be selected, and there was any. The difference is incredible, and to me it's because it's the most efficient way when you're slightly forward, at least for me, when you can push down the pedal, completely locking your tibialis muscle. In my particular position, when I had the saddle set back in the original position with the Merida, when reaching this point I was pushing forward then down, and in my particular structure somehow it works best if when I'm here I'm pushing down straight away and very little forward. That means that a position where I am slightly more on top of the bottom bracket will help the most power all the way down for the pedal stroke. Luckily the Canyon was already set up with this. When I pedal, I really feel that I completely lock this side of the leg. When I push down, this muscle is fully engaged. It's like imagine you're trying to push a door open like they do in the movies. Don't try this at home. Or if you want to, in some martial arts, front kick someone, you do need full engagement of this. You don't need any movement when you push, like your ankle and your lower part of the leg is in a cast. That's where you will pull the full force with your quads and glutes to push down on the pedal. When I move myself forward, I'm pushing straight down with a locked tibialis muscle. That to me made a huge difference. Now you need to be also careful on this, because I read in some instance moving too far forward might increase the pain in the front of the tendons here. Now, yes, there is a risk element on this. I believe that the solution for me was to having the cleats very dirty to position the cleats backwards. In this case, when you push down, you're not really engaging the forward position of the foot. You're not really stressing the tendons on the patella, the front side of your legs, and you push really down on the ball of the foot. If you were going to again front kick someone or a pad, you will use the locked leg and push down hard with the ball of the foot. In this case, the bottom part of the leg is working in an isometric way where your muscles are fully tensioned but they're not actually extending or flexing, and the whole work comes from your quads and your glutes. Guys, this was really a revelation for me. Luckily I found the best position on my Canyon. I thought that just the saddle height could more or less work, the same saddle height on both bikes, but if the geometry is different, if you feel that one bike is giving you a lot more power than the other, might not just be the weight or the spec of the bike, but the position is incredibly important. To me it really worked. very cheap, about 30 quid for the new seat post, 15-20 quid for the new stem. Luckily with the riding tool it was so easy to mirror not just the saddle height but also the angle of the saddle. I mirrored the position on the road, it worked incredibly well. Very happy. Then when I ride the Merida in the winter, I'm not going to complain too much that I'm not going to use the canyon because of course it's raining, and I can still push a lot harder even on a bike that is not really meant to be lightweight or coming with an extreme performance. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Put down in the comment your suggestion if you do have your own experience. I'll be really happy to hear from you. See you to the next video. Ciao.